Hi everyone, this is Frank with Teaching University, and in this lecture we're going to be discussing Neville Goddard and the phrase that he coined, which is living in the end. And I'm sure some of you have heard of this term before who follow Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard really has increased in popularity in recent years, and I mean Neville's been around for a long time, going back to the earlier part of the 20th century. But it's really just lately that he's gained a lot of popularity because I think there's a lot of interesting concepts and ideas that he's promoted and written about that I think can really help us improve our lives. And what he talks about when he discusses living in the end, it means rather than waiting for something outside of us to make us feel good or feel abundant or joyful or feel good about ourselves, what he's suggesting is that we begin acting and feeling as if our prayers have already been answered. And this is a tough pill to swallow, and frankly, it can be a little bit controversial because often what happens is that maybe we have an idea to do something, start a business, or maybe there's something that we want to accomplish in our lives or something that we want, but there's nothing necessarily in our external environment to validate that what we want is possible. And this discourages us, this causes discouragement, frustration, fear, and all these negative emotions that all of us succumb to, myself included. But just because you can't see something doesn't mean that it isn't possible. It's really believing in the unseen and believing in these other forces that are out there and within ourselves that if we tap into can radically improve our lives for the better. So by living in the end, it's when we start to play around with our thoughts and ideas and emotions, when we start really believing as if that what we want is actually possible. And there's a psychological component to this, or benefit for that matter, is that it helps us reshift our focus from focusing on what we don't want to focusing on what we do want. And when we start changing our emotions and we start making these shifts in our internal environment and in terms of our thoughts, that's when we can start to see notable changes because we start observing our lives and are perceiving our lives in a different way. And when we start to observe what it is that we want in our lives, and we start to focus on that, focus on what we want, without us even realizing it subconsciously, we start making new choices, new decisions, and look at life in a different way where we start to realize possibilities that may not have existed before. And I think that's what Neville is really discussing in much of his work, that by living in the end, by already acting as if your prayers have been answered, that what you want is already here, that's when we can start making profound change. And that's when we can start observing life in a new lens where we can start to see new possibilities and experiences we may not have noticed before. So I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can watch all my lectures on personal growth, entrepreneurship, creativity, and wealth building. So thanks so much, guys. Peace. See you.